Hey, what's up? Here we are. It's a brand new week, and we are here with the Dirty South podcast. A lot just happened last week, and there is a lot happening this week. And we're here to talk about it. But in the meantime, don't forget Cabra, first month $1. SE Wrestle. What's up, guys? How you doing? First of all, you just got back from Elite Eight, so that must have been a cool thing.
I just want to point out we are always laughing when the show starts because if we had, I always said the funniest show in radio is the talkback button, which you never hear.
Right.
If you guys had like the first couple minutes before the show, you guys would be laughing when the show started too. But
Yes,
that's
uh,
my contribution for the day. Go on, Jason.
equal good time.
Well,
Well, I
you're
do
not
know
wrong.
Jason just came from Elite Eight, and Brant's been working on 753 previews. So what's
Just
up,
just so
guys?
everybody knows, the background was Dan basically just like giving me rap about like
Tough
about
love,
things.
constructive criticism
Right. Actually,
Yes,
no, you're right.
with curse
Exactly.
words.
I would say take advantage. I know we don't need you.
You
Um,
know what, Daniel? I am going to take advantage, and I don't mind your feedback. It's just funny that
They're just pointing out
yes,
why we're always laughing when the show
no, I'm
starts.
just
Like,
like, well, take advantage of me because I can create that for you.
So I will
Um,
say, man, Elite Eight was unbelievable. Just so many talented kids in a room. 2 days. I don't know if you guys were able to kind of watch any that were on YouTube. You can go back and watch some matches. We started with bangers like right off the bat. Giovanni Tovar beat Mason Jacob at 120 for the Miami Hawks Carnage duel. I think that happened at noon on Saturday. It was a 11-11, maybe ultimate tiebreaker type of match, but that was just an example of the kind of matches we got. So, why don't we get to that after we talk to Coach Francois?
yeah, he's there he is.
Hey,
Yeah,
How
he
you
took all
Coach,
guys
that
doing?
after we got to Enoch. My
you doing
man,
okay?
I'm doing great. How you guys?
real good.
Not
yeah,
bad,
we're
not
good.
bad.
Are you back in Florida yet, or are you still up in the Carolinas?
I'm still up in the Carolinas, but I'll be driving through the weekend to be there Monday morning to get into some meetings and connect with some folks on campus.
Very cool. Well, Coach, we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. Obviously, the big reason we're having the conversation is the big announcement of IMG adding wrestling and everything else. Um, Before we get to that, though, why don't we talk a little bit about your background? Because you're bringing a huge amount of knowledge down to this brand new program. I mean, you've been at Stanford, you've been at North Carolina. I mean, I could go all a list of so many different places you've been, so many different outstanding coaches you've worked with. Just talk a little bit about kind of that path, and getting to why IMG is like the next destination.
Yeah, the entire path of it. I mean, even from graduating college, I've done so many different things and worn so many different hats, from the forest firefighting to running a K-12 administrative education department. So all those challenges have been different in their own ways. They've been always fun to accept and serve under those roles. So so outside of all the wrestling backgrounds and experiences, between all the different institutions you alluded to, where IMG comes in, it's I think it comes in as another challenge within the servant leadership role, which really excited me, especially to come back home in a sense, to Florida, and just really have an opportunity to build something special with the right resources and all those things engaged behind it.
Very
How
cool.
did this come about? Like, walk us through the process, how you got involved. Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? Where did you first learn about it? And then what's the process been like since then?
Yeah, with that, it's one of those things. I'm a firm believer in the higher power, and I always say God just works in mysterious ways, right? So from that standpoint, it wasn't something that I was actively searching or looking for. It was more recruiters simply just messaged me on LinkedIn and sparked the thought process of having a conversation to more. It was probably more or less to one see if I had a brief scope and idea of the levels of engagement and being interested with more so guidance and heading to the right direction with what they had the proposal of wanting to do. And then second was, hey, just in case, we'd ask, is there interest there and furthering those conversations. So that's more of how it sparked, was just a direct message from a recruiter and some conversations. And the more we discussed it and the more we were open to those different possibilities, then it, really expanded from there, and, got a chance to fly out there and spend some time with the people on campus, and have the communications between a lot of different stakeholders on campus within the athletic department, and that vision, that camaraderie, it just, and the support, it's there, and there's no reason not to be excited about it.
No doubt.
Yeah, I first of all, congratulations, Enoch, man. You and I go back a little bit. We've had a lot of fun here and at some world level competition. I get to see you all the time, and it's always good to see you. A lot of people, I think, maybe they don't understand really what the process is in this. As far you just explained that part of the process, but it looked like you were getting hired as the coach. But from what I understand at IMG, each department has their own director of that athletic department. And from what I understand, and you can explain how this works, you're being brought in to now control that department, and you're going to have the ability to kind of build your own staff, correct?
Yeah, it's just a piece of being able to, navigate that and oversee it. So, yeah, it's one of those things, is conversations get going. And as you guys know, the world of athletics in general, I don't think it's just a matter of wrestling. I mean, you can see things and trades happen, and you're like, oh, breaking news, right? Before families and other people even know about certain things. And it's just one of those things that happen in the world of athletics. People get wind of things and kind of run with it. So so that will either, I don't think outside entities really had a full understanding of what was truly happening and the conversations that were being had. Because from that standpoint, I don't know if I would have really looked into coaching per se, as opposed to more administrative roles from that standpoint, if a transition were to happen. And it just worked out really well, as I was saying, where the administrative visions really align with athletics, and it's just like one of those match made in heaven opportunities. So it's pretty cool to have.
And I thought this was like right in your wheelhouse, because for those that don't know, he is a doctor, and a lot of your background is psychological, being able to deal with people and humans and family and development. So I'm looking forward to seeing how you do down there. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Well,
definitely a lot of excitement.
And he's coming back to Florida. I mean,
yes,
are you excited? Are you excited about that process?
Well, I'm excited. I think my entire family is pretty excited. I think, I had a conversation with my eldest sister after having the final conversations with the good folks at IMG. And she about, I think she about broke my phone. She screamed so loud in excitement. So I know the family is excited for everyone to be a little closer to home, and that's just kind of gone full circle. I remember my time in Ocala, serving at the Villages Charter School and things like that, after having left Cornell for that stint, after training with Team USA and doing all those things. And and that was more of the K-12 administrative role, but that one was directed more so towards academics from the administrative side, but I was still very active and engaged and coaching and growing that program there. And you always have the thought processes of higher ed leadership and things of that nature. And, when Cole was making that transition to Stanford, at that time, that made a lot of sense, So I say every experiences in life has their timing and their seasons where they take place to build you, mold you, and shape you. And, we've gone full circle, and coming back to Florida is just very, very exciting.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. As someone who has been in Florida and then left Florida and has come back at very different periods of time, I feel that. So like the truth is, we in the wrestling community are super excited about how IMG fits into like the state,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
competition and all those sorts of things. And I think that's where we're going to head next. I don't know that you know the answers yet, and simply saying we haven't figured that out yet is a completely fine answer. But do you see? I mean, IMG being kind of more like Highland Prep, and will be more at the prep level and kind of be going about, or are you going to start small and start within the state and kind of compete within the state and kind of what does that beginning kind of look like if you were to envision it?
Yeah, so the beginning of that is going to be very broad, right? Because when you start everything from ground zero, you don't really have the full scope of expectations in terms of levels of athletes and families who are coming in to
Mhm.
your wheelhouse, right? So whatever hand you're dealt, you receive in terms of enrollment is where you start. Where so then once everybody's enrolling, then you're starting to really understand talent pools and talent level, and then you're going to start basing your competition schedules and curriculums and all of that based off of that. So that's the beginning phase. Now, on the forefront, we're really focused and dialed in and meeting all criterias and expectations for whatever route we decide that we need to take things, right. So we're having the right conversations with FHSA. We're having the right conversations with National Preps Wrestling. We're having all those conversations and meeting with all those key people via phone calls and emailing and things like that to make sure we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's ahead of the quote unquote enrollment process, the rest of the hiring process of staff, and putting all the right people in place. So then we can kind of keep the wheels turning full steam ahead with whichever direction we decide that we're going to need to take it, again based on levels of enrollment.
Very
That's the
cool.
question I get.
Yeah.
I think I've had 20 coaches reach out to me. Hey, who are they going to compete against? Do
Yeah,
I got to
yeah.
worry? So there's a lot of people that are looking forward to hearing that. Along those lines, though, being in Florida and knowing Florida, and as you know, we don't have a Division I college wrestling here. There's a load of talent here. It goes elsewhere. You've seen the rise on a national prep level of like Highland Prep. We've been able to see what IMG has done for other sports. With football, some individual sports is where it started with the rise of some tennis stars there. How excited or what kind of drives you to be able to at IMG be able to showcase the state in this sport also and kind of continue to build a reputation that is starting to be recognized by other, but those of us here know that maybe the recognition is kind of too slow to get there. Is there an excitement level for you on that point to be at a school like IMG that has resources that's been able to do this for other sports and raise the profile of Florida wrestling there too?
Brent, I'll tell you this, man. What excites me is their excitement, right? It's unreal. You get there and you talk to those folks, and then you really understand. Like, if you're not there, it's hard to comprehend that. And if you haven't been to a lot of different institutions and organizations, it's hard to understand it. Because, man, everybody's faces light up, when they start talking about it. And the different departments that are working together, whether it's from recruiting and camps and building projects. Like, I mean, just everybody's always working in unison and just ready to just roll and do whatever they can to have everything be successful. So the thought process is just everybody being all in all the time, and that's what's really encouraging. That's what's really cool about it. Um, so the first I remember, I think just a little under a week and a half, the CEO, my man Mike, he sent a email out, more of a welcoming email to the entire department. And I mean, heck, you gotta read the thing email. That excited me, right? It's just the way they go about doing anything, the level of welcoming, the level of open arms, and just the attitude of just ready to go get it. And it's like, hey, what do you need? What do you need? What do you want? That's just exciting. That's really cool, and just really pumped to hit the ground running.
Very cool.
Hey, so two things.
Yeah.
What I know people out here are kind of itching to know what the timeline is for us to see. We're all guessing and we're all throwing stuff out there, and we all have our fingers crossed. And kind of the timeline to see your staff that you bring forward, and then it will be nice. Is your goal to kind of like Lake Highland Prep has done? They've been able to keep some kids home now as opposed to losing them to Sam and Blair and some of these national powerhouses. Uh, is that the goal, to kind of keep our kids in state and
Well, absolutely.
keep
I
them
mean,
home?
if you and we'll get back to the staff timelines and things like that. But if you really look at it and look at the growth and the trajectory and the progression of Florida wrestling as a whole, I mean, it's booming, and the results speak for itself. Year after year, more guys are doing great things and representing the state well at big big tournaments, whether it's Super 32 or Fargo. Um, especially Fargo. Heck, they're right up there in the top 10 with everybody else, and continuously climbing, and that's amongst men and women, right? So it's just really cool to see that growth. And so then, if you're thinking, well, we have top 10 athletes across the board in the state of Florida. So, the goal is to continue to manifest levels of growth with that talent, and get them to number one, and get these kids to the high level achieving academic and athletic institutions that they desire to be at, and continuing to represent the brand of the state, and hopefully the brand of our institution as well, as we continue to
Exactly.
cultivate talent.
And I know I asked the timeline question, but one big thing that I want
Yeah.
people to understand too, with you coming in, you are somebody that's been at the Ivy Leagues and the universities and the military academies. If people don't know, he was at the military academy as well. What kind of benefit will that be for a family to choose to bring their child to you, that you know how to prepare them correctly for college?
Tremendous. It's tremendous. I think that was one of the selling points in terms of someone like myself coming into that position, is just having that understanding. And you did leave out NAI as well, D.
Mhm.
And
Yes, sir.
so the coolest thing is, like, when you have an understanding of, it's nothing's a cookie cutter for any family, any child, right? So there's opportunities in the world of wrestling and the world of athletics for every kid at every level.
Mhm.
And that's the biggest thing to understand. Not everybody who comes in is a world beater or this or that, but a lot of people just they love to be a part of something. They love to grow something. They love to feel that sense of belonging. And um you know and that starts not only with me, with having that understanding, but it's just really putting a good staff in place who also have that understanding of fostering growth at all levels, and really understanding that, and catering to the needs of each and every single person that comes in and out of that program. So to me, those are the big things when we talk about servant leadership and everything else. Now, once you establish those types of things and the cultures, right, the winning is a byproduct of everything else. So Winning happens, but the biggest thing is just putting the organizational structure, putting the right people in place, and having the right understanding and mindset to to push through those things.
So, Coach, we appreciate you taking the time and talking with us.
Absolutely.
IMG has got like we've kind of alluded to, there's a lot of opportunities and things along those lines. It'll be really interesting to see where we head from here, where you head from here, and all that. My final question is always kind of the final question I shout out to everybody, and that is, what didn't we ask you that we should have asked you?
And I feel like you guys, didn't pull or hold any punches with tough questions. I think Daniel, part of the email you guys had sent me was, hey, just let us know a specific list of questions you'd like us to ask you and things like that. I'm like, look, man, I have a good understanding in terms of what questions you guys were going to ask away in terms of the quote unquote tough questions. And to me, I never feel like there are such things as tough questions, right? Because you're gonna answer them and be very transparent when you do. I think I had a laugh about that with even during the interview process on campus at IMG. I think the biggest thing at the very end of the day, our VP of athletics, he asked me, "Hey, would you feel like there was any tough questions for you during the?" And I kind of laughed and gave the same answer. I mean, it's those things are life, right? And you learn to navigate it and answer correctly and do the things you need to do as you push forward. So I mean, I have no really big things that I feel like you guys missed that I didn't allude to or discuss or talk about. But
cool.
I mean, other than who's going to be
lots
the
of
head,
excitement.
other than who's going to be the head coach.
Well,
But
yeah,
I mean,
Daniel, but we're not going to ask him
straight
that
out,
right now.
We're not going to ask him that, right?
Hey, he puts it right out there. It's like, man, give us some names. Give us some names.
No, I get it.
Now, I will say, I'll speak on it. I'll speak on it. So that the timeline for that won't be sooner than later. So announcements will be made. My goal is personal goal, hopefully by middle of November, end of November at the latest. For all of those announcements, and that'll include director of operations, recruiting liaison, head coach, first assistant, second assistant. So in terms of the resources, I mean, it's going to reflect any high level Division I program. It's really cool. So just note, like, though the resources are there, the backing's there, the levels of interest from across the country is there. A lot of high level candidates. And so once these things happen, again, it's going to happen fast. So we'll put together a short fairly short list of hiring pool and make sure the applications get out. And sometimes you're surprised. Sometimes you thought you had a short list and boom, a name pops up that who applied, and you're like, oh wow, we weren't thinking that way, right? So we'll do our due diligence with that, and take things as they come and unroll that way. But it's very exciting. Levels of interest are exciting from across the board, and that's from coaching staff interest, that's from enrollment interest. It's really cool. I don't think I've really been off the phone and off my emails very much with all of those things, and including all the meetings we've been having to do over Zoom or Teams and stuff like that. So it's been fun, lots of excitement. Daniel, I don't know if that did enough breakdown for you. But
You're my guy, man. I love you, bro, and I'm so happy you're coming back to the state. And obviously, I think that our state of wrestling is going to be better with a program at IMG and with you at the head of it. So I appreciate you, and I look forward to it.
I can't wait till these announcements come out, Coach. You need to make sure you drop us a line and let us know like when you're getting ready to do a press release and everything.
Yeah, we
else,
got
okay?
you. We got you. We'll bring you on here.
I like it. We'll do it. I like it. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, and Coach, if you know Enock well, we're happy he wore a shirt for us today, because typically never got a shirt on.
Hey, listen. when I'm down there, and you know that humidity is gonna hit. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
you're on the beat.
I'll
Listen,
definitely keep your shirt on.
if I had those abs, I'd be walking around like that too.
You have them; they're just buried.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
buried behind a
you've
couple
got
six.
one. Coach has got
Yeah,
8. You got
I got
one.
one big one. That's true. Oh man, it's awesome. It's so
Coach,
good.
we want to wish you the best of luck. Again, we're really excited about kind of the things that are going to be happening and dropping over the next year. You guys take the mat a year from now, so
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot that's happening. We'd love to be as involved in kind of sharing the news as you're allowing us to be. So, love to jump back on in the future and talk about who you've hired or whatever. And want to wish you guys the best of luck as far as your travels, your family going back down to Florida and getting set up and getting set up, ready to go for this next coming year.
I appreciate it, Jason. Truly appreciate it. And
Yeah.
next stop for everything, we're moving back and forth, but it'll be Super 32. So we're excited to get out there, connecting with some kids and some families. So it's gonna be some good times.
Great. Thanks,
Awesome.
Coach.
Thanks so
All right,
much.
Appreciate you, Coach.
guys, Jason. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
You too. Man, that was awesome. And I think having him on is going to be great for the public because I think a lot of questions were coming around the state on timelines and what the process is and
Oh, no
coach or
doubt.
director.
No, I mean,
So
there's just so much speculation out there about what's this going to look like? Where are they going to compete? Who are they going to hire? Because, I mean, the truth is, they have a lot of resources, man. They could bring in
Oh yeah.
some top level coaches.
yes, yeah, they got some good money. And I want to say, look, what Mike Palazzo has done at Lake Highland Prep has been absolutely extraordinary, and he's built such a huge program. And we know that Enoch's not going to walk in and be able to be that immediately, right? But if his goal is to do what Mike's done, Mike is definitely a good person to chase because he's got a hell of a program up there, and
Oh, no
We
doubt.
what
we
he's
could have
done
talked to him
is
for like an hour too, but we had Jason managing the ship there. Like, let's get this through.
Yeah,
So,
well, so
yeah.
so just so
We could have
everybody
made the whole
knows,
show, yeah.
just so everybody knows, like we try to keep the conversations to
yes.
about 15 or 20 minutes because we bring this to you once a week, and actually coordinating for us to get together once a week is sometimes of a challenge, especially given
Yes.
Daniel's schedule.
And also some of the coaches out there, we made you nervous enough having IMG on for that long. We don't want you to scare you off. There's a few out there that want to know more. So
Yeah, I'm sure. But
No, so
listen, I know you were right in the middle of Elite Eight when he jumped on. So to put a bow on that, I think we had a bunch of Dirty South kids there. I know a lot of Florida kids there. The Miami Hawks were there.
yeah.
And then I think you had Gallo on Team Misfits, Fiore on Carnage. Man, what I wrap that up for us, man. What I mean, we're seeing kids that are just all world beaters going 2-5.
Yeah. This is something that I really, I mean, I've said over and over again, and I just think it's very hard to kind of put in your head unless you're actually in the room and kind of seeing this. Imagine the last 8 guys or whatever at Super 32, and you put them in a pool and they all wrestle one another over the span of 2 days. And if you saw any of the pictures, there's some, I mean, these kids look like they've been in the NCAA tournament with the number of scratches, bruised eyes, like everything else. I mean, these kids come and it's no joke. I mean, and to dominate the way that some of them dominate is unbelievable. Okay, so first, if I'm going to stick with the state of Florida, right? Michael Mako was unbeaten. I mean, he was one of the highest 2 team point scorers for the tournament. I mean, that just shows you these are outstanding heavyweights from around the country, and he's dominating. Now, it wasn't necessarily the 1 and the 2 and everything else, but these are individuals that are going to go out there and compete with anyone. And you just look at some of the others that came up. Yeah, you lost an 8-7 match to the number 7 kid in the country. The number 1 kid in the country at a particular weight lost his first 2 matches of the weekend and ended up winning his next 5. But and
When
one
he
of those was
lost.
I'm sorry.
But he lost.
But he
To
lost
come up.
those two matches. Yeah. So there's no room for error at this event. This is an event that if you really love that level of wrestling and really a tip of the cap. I mean, honestly, there are several kids, Kyle Gallo being one, right? There were other kids from Georgia and from Alabama who stepped in, and I mean, it was tough, but they stepped in for their team because
I mean,
this is a dual event.
Bryce Fiore had to wrestle some kid that's not that good twice, right?
Yeah, he just had to wrestle Keegan Bassett, twice. And I'll tell you what, little Bryce Fiore, I got a chance to talk to him a little bit. Fantastic young man, a little seventh grader. He had to be the youngest individual actually at the event competing. He went out in his first match, and Keegan kind of put it on him. And don't get me wrong, Bryce actually had a really good tournament. We're just going to talk about his two losses to the number one kid in the country.
Right.
But
In the world,
yeah,
at his
in the
weight.
world. So, but Bryce, in the final duel, it was Carnage versus Dynasty, and Carnage knew what they had to do. I mean, again, I emphasize this is still a dual event, and you want your team to do well. So everybody has a job in that situation. And Bryce knew his job was to not give up a tech to Keegan. And I mean, at least that's my opinion. I think that's probably what's communicated. Obviously, he wants to go out and win and all those sorts of things, but that's a job you have in a duel. And Bryce goes out there in that first period, and he doesn't get taken down until the last few seconds of the first period. It's 3-0 at the end of the first period, and he's wrestling exceptionally well. Then Keegan decides to turn it up a bit and ends up taking Fiore to his back and getting the pin. So it kind of, that momentum swings in these duels. You can feel it in the building, and you're taking these duels with the top level kids going back and forth.
Yeah,
Bryce Fiore will
but a kid
only be
like that
better
is,
because of
yeah,
his experience in that situation.
I was going to say he's going to go back and go, okay, now I know what it takes to be the best in the world, right? And now I understand where I have to go. And I remember I tell people a story all the time where Yanni told me his dad took him across the state to wrestle Spencer Lee, and as a youth kid, and Spencer Lee just beats him in like a minute, and he kind of drives all the way back. Dad, why'd you do that to me? Okay, now we know what we need to do to get better, right?
That's right. Well,
And
and I don't want to hog up the airwaves or anything like that, but I do want to share one last thing, and that is there were so many college coaches in the building. Tom Ryan of Ohio State was in the building. Illinois, Oklahoma State. I mean, not just like programs. I mean, we're talking about the creme de la creme of programs. Now, I didn't see Penn State there. There was no Cale Sanderson there. I didn't see Tom or Terry Brands there for Iowa. But pretty much everyone else was in the building. You had on one side Steve Mocco coaching, with Pat Lugo against Daniel Cormier from, Cormier Wrestling Academy. On the other side, you have Olympians coaching these kids on opposite benches. And I talked to a few coaches, and the coaches were like, I'm not as concerned about how well this kid did, like in this match. The thing that I'm most interested in is how does he respond? How does he respond to the situation that just happened? If he went out there and got a good win, was did he come back just even hungrier for the next match, or was he a little like satisfied with himself? Right? Did the kid go out there and get it taken to him and get mentally broken and wasn't able to kind of come back from that situation? The college coaches, if for them it looked as they were watching, it was a lot less about wins and losses, and it was far more about how you composed yourself and how you responded to the situations.
I would say they're watching the corners as much as the mat.
Yeah.
And they're watching the outside of the mat as much as they're watching what's on the mat, because they
That's
want to
right.
see how those different adversity is handled. But I want to say, if you're talking about the best of the best, your coverage was fantastic from there. And I didn't have any time to watch it, but I was able to, even though the
Thanks.
graphic was ugly, I was able to follow along with what was going on Substack, and brilliant job by
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Certainly,
I don't know how you do it
certainly
because
a level to try and reach.
yeah, I agree because I'm in Fargo with you typically. You missed it this year, and you're doing these recaps daily, and I'm just doing all I can to take a picture and post it and edit it.
Well, you
And
got to
I
work
don't
on
know
your
how.
abs.
Right? Yes. So I could be like Enoch, but yeah, yeah. I mean, to be able to like every session you had an article up. Every time someone wrestled, you had
So
information for us, and that
look,
was awesome.
you guys both know, but everybody else doesn't really know this, right? And that is, you kind of have to pick your path. And in years past, I was taking pictures and trying to write and trying to do all these different things and everything else. So Amber Cloy came in and helped me take pictures throughout the event. So what happened was I would go and take pictures at the beginning of the round, and then I would slip away as results were coming in and begin writing to be able to post it at the end of that round. Without Amber
That's my
there,
state duels plan. That's how
Yeah,
I handle state duels
yeah,
writing.
and
right?
12 stories
and
in one day. You got pictures from the first two matches,
yeah.
and then you're back at the. And
Right.
also,
Well,
Well,
and
and there
also,
and
you
has
have
to
to
be
have a
that
good
plan.
You have to have a good workstation, and obviously, you had a good workstation at Elite
well,
Eight to
and
be
you
able to do
guys know that if I'm there, I'll give the pictures to you. But shout out to Amber Coy, first of all. Did I say her name right? Amber Coy?
Chloe.
Coy, Amber Coy. Her pictures that I've seen her posting have been phenomenal.
I
Like
almost don't
they
want to
have
take
been,
pictures next to her.
oh my goodness, she did what a great job. And the way she caught the personalities and the actions. And you know me, I love the candid stuff more than I love the actual action of the wrestling.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
And
know.
the stuff that she got
Yeah, we know.
candidly, yeah,
Can we get a
is
picture of
is
this? And there's like 8 of them laughing in one action shot.
yes. Yeah. And it's just she caught the coaches' demeanors
Yeah,
and the people behind them
I
and the
agree with you.
athletes. And just
absolutely.
shout out to her. If she does watch our show, great job.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Again, this is one of those things where I looked at her pictures after day one. I looked at my pictures after day one. I went, "What the hell are you doing? Like this is not that you got to pay attention." And I went the second day. My second day pictures are much better than my first day pictures because I looked at what she was taking and how she was taking it and what she was doing, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to try to emulate, what she's doing in the way that we want to go about doing it. And I think that, I mean, that's how we all kind of get better. And you know what, Brant, that leads to you
Oh, yeah,
because I
getting
would love
better.
to emulate
What
what
he's
you're
doing.
trying to pull together for your preview,
Yeah.
man. And
And
like the amount of information you're pulling in.
yeah.
Yeah,
By the way,
it's
before you get into that, I texted Pat just a question. I know Pat's traveling today with the Miami Hawk female team going up to Columbus Day Duels. Good luck to them. If he gets back to me, I'll let you guys know. I just asked him, your first time bringing a team to Elite Eight. Can I get a little feedback from you of your takeaway from it? Like what did you feel
Cool.
from that
Yeah.
event? So if I get that back, I'll let you guys know.
Brant.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just looking at the numbers here.
Sorry.
Yeah, over 400 boys teams. I have listed over 300 girls teams, trying to get information on each one and build in previews. That's what I've been doing pretty much around the clock. So far, I have received. Well, let me pull it up so everybody can see it while I'm talking. I've received 107 coaches have sent me um, their forms. 71 girls, 42 Class A, 35 2A, 31A. But really, I'll go through each one, and if they have new weights listed, I change the rankings, and then I go in and build these capsules. And I've had interviews with 20 to 30 of them so far. And if you're on my social media, you've seen quotes and videos and everything from that. But I mean, I won all like 700.
We won all 700.
Not quite there yet. I only at 107 with 2 months to go, or less than 2 months to go, a month and a half.
Well, all 700. We have 171 of 700. We have 107
That's
of
true
what?
of the 400. So.
Of 400.
And
yeah.
just to know that the Class 1A number there, 147, is based off of what they have on FHSA classifications, and we don't know if all of those are actually going to have teams this year.
Correct.
Haven't been able to confirm all of them, but I
So
thought we'd
is
have some fun. But
so one of I don't know if you've analyzed this yet, but are there parts of the state that are really good at sharing information
so
back,
good at
and other
this.
parts that are not?
You're so good at this. Yes, great segue. So here are where we've received on the boy side. I haven't broken it down by girls. Girls is more spread out on how I track this because I keep it all just with one team. I haven't gone through their regions yet to figure it out, but this was easy to do this morning. Region 3A2 has get 17 teams in Region 3A2 have submitted forms to me. 2 in Region 1A4, and they're both in the same district, have sent me forms.
What's up with that?
So
one of the teams in 1A4 doesn't have a team.
Okay.
Isn't that where my school is?
No, you guys are 1A2.
1A2, okay.
Yeah.
By the way, we're looking for a coach at the First Academy. We need somebody to come in, coach this year. Give me a call. I'll set you up with the athletic director. He's looking for someone to come in. I know it's close to the season. We need somebody.
No,
Anyway,
1A4 is Gibbons and all that crew
that
down
area, and then south. Just to let people know if you're interested in this stuff at all, I've so far just sent 2 general emails out, one in August, one in September, both months, and said, hey, when you're ready, I would love to have you fill out this form. What I will do in the next couple weeks, because out of the 117, I think I said I had, I will be reaching out to like 60 or 70 of them this week to have them sign up for interviews. The next batch of those will go out and probably see like 20 or 30 interviews out of that. But I will actually email every individual coach, begging them, send them the information I have, say, please tell me who's coming back. So some of these numbers will go up. These are just the ones, the coaches that were on the ball, so to speak, and jumped onto my Google form and filled it out and sent it in. I have 2 Google forms that were filled out with no information. Just the coach put his name.
I don't understand that. Like,
and I don't know if I should count those or not.
If you're a coach of a team, and maybe you know this better, you too, because you do this all the time. Why the hell wouldn't you send the information back? Why would you deny it, or why would you say not interested in filling this out, or what the hell does it hurt to fill this thing out? Like, why do that? I mean, if you're a coach out there and you think I'm being ridiculous, answer. Why the hell wouldn't you give him the information? I'd love to know
the answer too. I mean, I try to make it easy as I can. Like I said, I will to coaches who haven't sent me anything, probably give them a couple more weeks. Some coaches, to be fair, depending on your program, may not know who's coming out.
Yeah, that's
there are
true.
some schools that aren't as yearly invested. There are coaches who are coaching football or coaching bowling, or actually I've talked to the one that I know coaches bowling, cross country, whatever, and maybe they've had an interest meeting, but they don't necessarily know who's coming out. I mean, there's various reasons, but then there's ones that know everything about their team that won't send anything in, which is fine. But I try to make it easy with the Google Drive. I don't get angry at coaches that don't send it in, but I love to count the numbers and check the boxes, and so that brings me joy. So please, if you just want to make me happy,
like help his OCD.
Yes, exactly. Just help
How
me.
about? I mean, what I like is how about the coaches that don't send you any information, but are quick to
point out when
are quick to attack you when your kid's not in the ranking, or this kid beat that kid, or why do you have this kid here, why that kid there? Well, you didn't send me any information. How the hell am I supposed to know what that kid's doing?
I never remember, but I think I get about 230 forms. So I think we're doing all right, but we'll see what kind of push. But I wanted to show you guys
on pace.
10 districts. I have 0, and they're all over the state, but there are 10 districts where I have not received anything from a single team in that district.
Now, let me ask you a question, because I used to do a state of the program kind of things that was very similar to kind of what you're doing, and they weren't team capsules, but it was still sending out individual emails to coaches and things like that. And given the level of turnover of coaches, it was sometimes really hard to track down. Like this email is, I don't know if you're not getting it. I don't know if it's going into the ether.
Correct.
I don't know what's going on. It's not getting kicked back to me. If it's getting kicked back to me, I'm knowing this information. Do you find that to be like
Oh,
real challenge year in, year
oh
out?
yeah. I mean, I'll have a coach. I start sending emails out like in the summer and say, hey, actually right at the end of the season, I send one out too. Hey, if you're not coaching next year, let me know. And like I'll send 6 or 7 emails out over like a 4 or 5 month period, and I'll finally get one. Oh, I retired back in March. I'm like, okay,
Right.
yeah, thanks. And so sometimes that happens. I keep track. I have on my spreadsheet this. I keep track of who I'm Facebook friends with. I keep track of who their Instagram, their LinkedIn. So I will find other ways to try to reach them as we get closer. Right now, I'm thankful for any coach that sends. I mean, really, to have 100 and whatever I have in
Yeah, by
this
the end of September.
technically this early by end of September is really pretty good. And I saw there are 2 more that came in this morning that aren't even on this list or in this count. But I think it's great to have that many now. But now the work kind of turns back to me if I really want to get these to reach out to coaches. And some of them are it's just simple. You send them an email, and they're like, "Oh yeah, everybody's back, thanks." And I at least know who's coming back, and that's the main thing is because I want to get as many kids listed as I can. That's the main thing, and I want every program if they have kids that are wrestling that are returning or someone to watch, then I want them on this list.
Yeah.
The benefit the extra ones are the ones that give me quotes, and the even extra after that are the ones that take 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and we chat. It's funny that you use that question because I use that question at the every single interview I do. The last thing I ask is there something I should have asked you? I get the best quotes after I ask that question. Reminds me of Howard Stern when he does his long interviews. At the end, he'll be like, "What have we learned?" And then from that point on, it's like the best part of the interview. But like the coaches that give me 10 to 15 minutes of their time, take their time to schedule time to talk, and then we chat. It's so cool. I learned so much, and I go into the season, and I've got different stories. Even if I don't get a chance to write them, I know them in my head of different things that are going on, and I get to watch, and I learned so much more about um, kids that you may not even ever know about, but now I have an interest in watching them. They might just be their goal might be to qualify to day 2 of regions,
Right.
and they won't necessarily get a lot of play because by that point we're focused on the ones going to state and the top of the heap. But it's cool to learn these other stories, and these coaches give me a chance to learn about their team more, and I'm so appreciative of the ones that do. And
Yeah.
I love
So
the chats.
Yeah.
We have such
And,
great chats all the time.
when I was saying, why would someone not do that? I get if you're out coaching football or baseball or whatever the hell you're doing. But man, just to not do it because you don't want to do it. I mean, that's kind of
well,
stupid.
I don't know if it's that. I don't know if people are
It is for a couple
protective.
of them
You know, I don't
because they've
know.
told me.
I will say like I think the thing I want to like I've been doing this for a long time now, and that is guys, like if we as a sport are not going to promote our sport, we're going to get left behind. And maybe we don't need that level of promotion or whatever. And you can might have a whole different idea about it. But you know, some of the biggest stories are the kids who tried to make the state tournament for, 4
Yeah.
years or 3 years, and that blood round match at regionals is just huge for them to be labeled a state qualifier. I mean, that's kind of what we're all doing here. Like
Yeah.
we want to talk about all the stories. Yeah, we talk about the Giovanni Solises or the Giovanni Tavares and, the top level kids and where they're going and how they're competing. And we want to talk about all that information, but we also want to talk about,
Yep.
Interlochen as a school and building a program or whatever the case is, and the more information you give us, the more opportunity that Brant has to post it on Copra. And we have an opportunity to kind of talk about it, and I just think that that's super important. So
And
I
that's
just
what my
hope everybody understands the
and that's
purpose.
what my preview is. It's a chance to look at every single team, and I will talk to any coach that sets up time. And I mean, just talked to a coach yesterday, and he's like, "Listen, we have this chat every year. We're young and rebuilding again. We're always young and rebuilding. I mean, every year we get these guys, and then they quit or we're young and rebuilding. But we chat, and I highlight their team, and I put quotes in about the kids that are wrestling or that the coach tells me, only positive stuff. But that's what I do for all of these teams, and it's
Right.
this is the chance to do it. There's nothing better than the freshness of a new season when nothing has been decided, and this is a chance to talk about as many of these kids as possible. And I learned great stories, like you said. Like I can someone can tell me, man, this kid has been so close, and this is what we've done, and this is how we've worked, and this is I now know all these stories that I wouldn't have known had I not had a chance to talk to these coaches. And I can't tell them all because I'm a one man staff, but I certainly try to get as much of it out as I can.
Absolutely. All right, so let's pivot to our last segment real quick. Daniel, the
He's gonna
Grappler
do
Fall
it. Oh,
Classic.
I thought he was gonna do his ab workout for us.
Oh, you know what? I've actually got it on video. I can show
Yes.
it to you.
Yes, you do have it on video. Oh, that is true.
You know what?
Yes.
Next week I'll try to pop it into this conversation and
Yeah.
show it.
You can see me doing my ab thrust.
All right, so
that
yeah, the
is
Ohio
funny.
Grappler Classic is this weekend.
Yes,
The Ohio
the Michigan Ohio
Yeah.
Grappler Classic.
OH.
This
For the
weekend,
grappler fall. Yes.
Daniel, what stood out to you as far as I mean, really at this again, this is just like Elite Eight, this is just like Super 32 early entry tournament. These are kids who are registered. We don't know if they'll actually be there,
Right.
but you took a little bit of time to look at kind of who was coming from the Dirty South. What'd you find out?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have 10 from the Dirty South that are nationally ranked that are showing up there to wrestle, which is awesome. And then we've got another 56 kids from our southeast region that are pre-seeded. So it's good to see Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina. Um, those are the states that I noticed that are bringing the big showings. And yeah, it's great to see. Now, I haven't been able to actually dig into all 1,000 kids that are registered, because I know that we have hundreds of kids that are going there from the Dirty South that always go there, and there's going to be some of those kids that shock some of these seeded kids, that beat some of these seeded kids, and I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, it's great to see the growth of Southeast Wrestling, and seeing all the kids that are pre-seeded for this tournament and nationally seeded is what I noticed.
Yeah, so one of the questions I had for you guys was I was looking at 120, and you got like number 5 Liam Davis as the 1 seed, which we know what we get with Liam, and I don't know Lane Martin from Michigan and Cooper Murley from New York. I've seen him wrestle a couple of different times, but as we go down the list, down at number 13 is Eric Bush, and 14 is Cooper MacArthur, and 12 is Nathan Lytle from Florida. And you've got Lytle at 12, Bush at 13, Cooper MacArthur at 14. Chaz Robinson, who we've seen at the Florida Super 32 qualifier, comes in at number 16. I don't really know many of the names in between that. Obviously, I know Jose Cordero from
Yeah, I was going to
Tennessee.
say from Tennessee.
Yeah, but I don't know Alan Wu from Illinois or some of them. But I'll tell you what, if that is your top 16 or that is your seeds at 116 and they all show up, or at 120, those are your 16 seeds, that's a tough weight, man.
Yeah, that's a real tough weight, and I'm excited. I haven't seen Nathan Little wrestle since we were in Fargo, um, and I know he's put his head back down and got back to the grind, and I know where he is and who he's working with. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he comes back with. Obviously, Eric Bush has been having a great year, and then Liam Davis Liam Davis. I mean, he's okay, right?
Yeah, he's doing okay.
He's
Doing
doing
just fine.
okay. Yeah.
Hey, Brant, as we look down the list, I see a few names that I don't know that you've seen in a few months. And I mean, for you, it's got to be kind of interesting, like a Jake Austin, I don't think Jake was at the Florida Super 32 early entry tournament.
He wasn't. He recently wrestled somewhere. But yeah,
but there's got to be several names here, like Jonathan Moreno from, different individuals who maybe haven't stepped on the mat. You haven't necessarily seen. Those are the kids I'm always really interested when they go to these big events.
yeah, I don't have any names in front of me. I've not done my prep for this. I do know Lake Gibson is going up there. I don't think a lot of Lake Gibson kids were not, at least not a full team at Super 32. we've seen them do some national stuff, but now they're in folk style. So be interesting to see them transfer back into that, see how they're set up. And then I saw like Dan went over his list with me for just a couple minutes before we started, and I saw a couple of names there that I'll be curious to just. I'm gonna dig in, I guess, this weekend and figure out what's going on in Ohio. But yeah.
Yeah,
So
at 144 too. I mean, the kids, the Kraker and Basil and Nikula and just from the Dirty South, Weinman and Woodard and Hamilton. Those are some
Oh no, there
big
should be some
names.
great weights if we see
if
if
they
everybody
all happen and if
shows.
they hit the weights.
Right.
I mean, I'll be
Right.
curious too, because it's one of those events where I count them as an important way in. Like, so we'll get an idea of where people are might look this year, because there may be some kids moving weight we haven't heard yet. Because I feel like this is one you cut for.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah,
cut
well,
for the juggernaut on the weekend, but you cut for Grappler and Super 32 and
Yeah.
those kind of events.
Well,
journeyman,
Some do, most do.
and then thank God, knock on wood, no hurricane this year. Everybody gets to travel up safely, and
that's right.
nobody's got to jump in a van and try to make a 40-hour.
Well, at least
trip
from Florida, because South
airplanes.
Carolina, they may be coming back to some weather.
Oh, really? Last question was at 175. The number 4 seed, according to Flo, is Jackson Angelo from Florida, and I don't know that name. Lake Highland Prep, perhaps, because if you look further down, you got Miguel Rojas from Indiana, who I think is a Lake Highland Prep kid, and then down at 11 is Mac Andrews, and Bo Davis is number 12 from Georgia at number 12. But I don't know the name Jackson Angelo. I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but
he wrestled for Frazier in PA.
Yeah, it looks like he's
a class of 26 wrestler.
Well, several Frazier kids went to Lake Highland Prep, so maybe he's down there.
So that might be a pipeline there. But he wrestled at Frazier last year, from what I can see quickly.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you doing that. All right. So, guys, man, we had Coach on. We had a recap of Elite Eight duels. We had GFC. Brant is grinding away on all his stuff.
You have me begging people to send me stuff.
Yes.
We have to sit down and we'll do this offline, but I want to give everybody an idea. One of the things I would love to do is do a little bit of a deep dive before you drop all your previews of some little interesting nuggets that you're starting to see and pull together, because you did a little teaser with Creekside, I think, on Facebook.
And I had Interlock is out there.
Yeah, so I would love to kind of just do a little bit of that as we kind of build to your November release of that information. But we will be back next week talking a little bit about GFC, maybe getting ready for Super 32. Daniel is running around like a chicken with his head cut off, taking pictures everywhere. He is in Miami currently, driving up. He's going to sleep about 2 hours before he heads over towards Tampa tomorrow. So, Daniel, all I want to say to you is be safe, brother.
Yeah, man, it's going to be fun.
That's not a fun drive during the day, let alone when you're tired at night.
Yeah. So we've got a little bit of a break next week as I go off to see my son, Daniel, up in North Central, and then coming back in. There's about 52 schools between mid-October to Christmas time. So
just 52.
He's lazy.
Yeah,
he's lazy.
Slacker, man.
So
he's got to do all those ab workouts.
I'll be out there.
Time to...
So if any of you coaches that I come to see haven't sent Brant his info, I'll be asking for it.
and I'll be telling him, hey.
Yeah.
And also, I need scheggles. I haven't even started asking for schedules yet. I only have like 10 of those.
Yeah,
gentlemen, great
Brant
week.
has my list.
Great week, guys. I really appreciate jumping on, and it's always fun to talk and catch up, and hopefully we can get back to Wednesday next week.
Yep.
Yeah,
all right,
I'll let you know. Peace.